Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've ever felt like you're just running flat out on a treadmill, but not really getting anywhere, well, this deep dive is absolutely for you. We're going to be dismantling that whole myth that just being busy means you're successful. It's about making a real shift, right? Moving from constantly reacting to everything life throws at you to actually leading it, going from, well, busy to brilliant. And the core problem we saw, it jumped out from all the research, is how easily we mix up activity with actual achievement. We tick things off these huge lists thinking that's progress, but often it just leads to overwork, maybe even burnout, without hitting those really important goals. So our mission today is to cut through all that noise.
Yeah, cut through the noise and pull out the real frameworks, the practical stuff you need to get back your focus, your energy, and build success that actually lasts. And it's about impact. Not just logging hours. We've dug into the sources to find those, non-negotiable systems for working smarter, not just putting in more time. This isn't about some crazy new time management hack either. It's deeper. It's about aligning what you do every day with your biggest purpose.
And I think what's great is that it doesn't demand, radical overnight discipline.
Yeah.
It's about small things, right?
Small, consistent, intentional actions. That's the key. They compound over time.
Okay, so where do we start? Because you're saying productivity really begins in the mind.
It absolutely does. It has to start there. The foundation is that strategic mindset, not the latest app or tool. We need to ditch what some sources call the worker mentality. The person focused purely on activity, effort, just putting in the hours.
Right, just churning things out.
Yeah. The crucial shift is towards the creator mentality.
The creator. Okay, so what defines that?
The creator is laser-focused on impact, strategic outcomes. They aren't asking, was I busy today?
They're asking,
did I actually produce something valuable? Did I move the needle on my key goals? They measure by results, by value added.
Okay, that makes sense. And that brings us to, I guess, the big tool everyone talks about.
It does. The one that showed up everywhere in the material. The 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle.
We all sort of know it conceptually 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. But applying it, that feels like the hard part. When you've got 3 deadlines breathing down your neck, how do you realistically use 80-20 without just feeling like you're dropping the ball on everything else?
That's the friction point, absolutely. The answer the sources give is, ruthless identification. You have to isolate those highest value tasks. Look, there's one stat that really stood out to me. Something like only 4% of emails sent actually drive 95% of client action. Just 4%.
Wow, 4%, that's tiny.
It is. So that's the kind of critical effort we need to find and protect.
Well, applying it isn't just listing priorities. It's asking that really sharp question. If I could only do one thing today, what would give me the biggest leap forward?
Precisely. And that one thing becomes non-negotiable. Protected time.
Okay.
And, to support that kind of focus, you need the right mental foundation. That's why the research really emphasizes cultivating a growth mindset.
Which means seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as learning opportunities.
Exactly. Opportunities to learn and grow. Effort isn't a sign you're failing. It's actually part of the process, part of progress. And connected to that, we saw visualization mentioned quite a bit.
Okay. Not just wishful thinking, though.
No, not at all. It's practical. It's mentally rehearsing yourself successfully tackling that high-value task, picturing overcoming the obstacles, achieving the outcome. It actually primes your brain, kind of reduces the mental drag before you even start.
I like that. Preloading success. Okay, so we have this powerful mindset. How do we translate that into a daily structure? We need building blocks, right?
We do.
Yeah.
And those building blocks are habits.
Habits. They're crucial. The sources kept talking about their compounding power, how small, consistent actions build up to these huge results over time. But there's a brain science reason too, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. The neuroscience is key. Habits basically conserve your mental energy. When something's automatic, like making your coffee or shutting down your laptop.
You're not using willpower deciding whether to do it.
Exactly. And that frees up your mental bandwidth. You can redirect that energy towards the harder stuff, the strategic thinking, the deep work.
Right. Save the willpower for the big decisions, not arguing with yourself about checking email first thing. Which leads us nicely into morning rituals, priming the mind. And a ritual doesn't have to be, getting up at 4 a.m. for some intense workout, right? The sources talked about really effective short practices.
Yeah, often just 15-20 minutes. Things like maybe 5 or 10 minutes of mindfulness or meditation just to get centered.
Okay.
Some kind of movement, even just stretching, or a quick walk around the block. A quick review of your top priorities for the day.
And maybe some journaling or affirmations, focusing intent.
Yes, setting that deliberate, focused tone before the chaos of the day kicks in. It ensures you start with purpose.
And to make those new habits actually stick, that's where habit stacking comes in.
Habit stacking. It's probably the single most effective technique we saw for integrating new behaviors without a lot of friction.
How does that work exactly?
You simply link the new habit you want to build onto an existing one you already do automatically.
Okay. Like,
Like your existing habit might be, after I pour my first cup of coffee,
hmm
then the new habit. I will review my top 3 priorities for the day.
So you piggyback the new onto the old, makes it almost automatic.
It reduces the decision fatigue right out of the gate.
Got it. So the morning sets the intention. What about locking in the learning at the end of the day? Reflection.
Yes, the power of reflection, usually through an evening review. This is what ensures you're constantly learning and adjusting intelligently.
Keeps you honest, maybe.
In a way, it's simple, just 5 or 10 minutes. You celebrate what went well, acknowledge maybe where things got sticky without judgment, and importantly, identify what activities gave you energy versus drained it.
So asking questions
Like, what went well today? What's one thing I could maybe tweak or improve tomorrow? And the big one, did I actually spend my best energy on my highest value tasks?
that phrase, again, highest value tasks, that really seems to be the linchpin. Which brings us to the nuts and bolts, the operational level. If time isn't the thing to manage, what is?
Focus and energy. The sources are really clear on this. You can't make more time, but you absolutely can manage where your focus goes and how you utilize your energy levels.
So stop trying to just fill every single hour.
And start maximizing your peak performance hours. That means planning your day around your natural energy cycles, your biological peaks and troughs.
Right. Do the hard stuff when you're sharp.
Exactly. That really complex, creative, strategic work, that's for your high energy periods. Then the routine stuff, admin, maybe batching email responses, save that for the lower energy times, like that mid-afternoon slump.
And what defines those high energy, high focus periods is that deep work.
That's the core concept, deep work. The ability to concentrate without any distraction on a task that really demands your cognitive horsepower. This is the superpower of that creator mentality we talked about.
But it's not just like flipping a switch, is it? I remember seeing stages mentioned. It's a skill you build.
It really is. The sources break it down. First, there's preparation. You clarify your goal for the session, eliminate all potential distractions beforehand. Shut things down.
Okay, prep first.
Then comes immersion. That's the peak state, the focus flow. But just as critical, and often skipped, is the third stage, recovery.
Recovery. Why is that so important?
Because your brain needs time to rest, consolidate the learning, integrate the information. If you just go from one intense block to the next without a break, your returns diminish fast. Recovery prepares you for the next deep work session.
That makes sense. So to protect that focus, especially during immersion, we need some structure. I saw time blocking and batching come up a lot.
2 absolutely essential techniques, practical and powerful.
Time blocking is basically making appointments with yourself, right, for specific, focused work.
Exactly. You treat, say, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. as a booked meeting for creative project X. Non-negotiable. Nothing gets scheduled over it. Protect that time fiercely.
And batching,
Grouping similar tasks together, like instead of checking email constantly throughout the day.
which brace your focus every time.
Right. You batch it, handle all emails in one dedicated 30-minute block, maybe at 1 p.m. It dramatically cuts down on that constant mental gear shifting.
And that switching, it's more costly than we think, isn't it?
Oh, hugely. The research we looked at suggests that task switching can waste up to 40% of your productive time. 40%. Just gone. Lost to shifting context.
40%. Wow, that's staggering. So multitasking is really the enemy here.
It truly is. The enemy of efficiency, the enemy of depth. That's why single task focus has to be, well, almost militant.
Guard your attention.
Like it's your most valuable asset.
Right.
Because it is. Silence those non-essential notifications. Close irrelevant tabs and windows. If it's not directly contributing to the task at hand, it shouldn't be in your line of sight or hearing.
That 40% number is a pretty strong motivator to actually turn off Slack for an hour or two.
Okay, so we have these sharp tactics. How do we make this sustainable? Avoid just burning out in a high-intensity sprint. We need systems, I assume.
Systems are absolute key for the long haul. They're the ultimate energy savers because they create predictability and efficiency. You stop reinventing the wheel every single day.
And the core framework for simplification seemed to be that automate, delegate, eliminate formula. That's the backbone. It's straightforward, but powerful. Automate. Use tech for anything repetitive. Email rules, scheduling tools, bill payments, whatever you can.
Set it and forget it.
Right. Then delegate. Can someone else do this task maybe 80% as well as you? If yes, and it's not your highest value work, delegate it. Free yourself up.
And the last one, eliminate. That sounds tough.
It can be, but it's often the most impactful. Eliminate. Learn to say no. Ruthlessly prune tasks, meetings, commitments that don't genuinely contribute to your core goals. Saying no isn't being difficult. It's being strategic.
But even with great systems, you can still run yourself into the ground. The sources were really emphatic about rest, weren't they?
Absolutely. Rest isn't a reward you get after working hard. It's a tool that enables you to work smart in the first place. It's part of the process, not separate from it.
So things like sleep.
Non-negotiable. Aiming for that 7-9 hours is an investment in your performance tomorrow. And boundaries are just as crucial. They're like the armor that protects your focus and your rest time from constant external demands.
If you can't protect your downtime, you can't recharge for that deep work.
Exactly. And alongside sleep and boundaries, the small health things matter too.
Like movement, nutrition.
Yeah, even a quick walk boosts blood flow, improves alertness. Good nutrition stabilizes energy, helps avoid those afternoon crashes that kill productivity. And mindfulness, even brief moments, helps restore mental clarity.
And there was one more piece about downtime, scheduling white space.
Yes, white space. This is important. It's intentionally scheduling blocks of time with nothing structured. No meetings, no tasks.
Empty time. Doesn't that feel unproductive?
It might feel like it, but it's actually incredibly productive. It's where your subconscious mind gets to work processing complex problems, making connections. A lot of creativity and insight happens not when you're forcing it, but in those quiet moments of mental rejuvenation.
Okay, let the brain breathe. So, wrapping up the sustainability piece, it seems the final principle is about progress, not perfection.
Continuous improvement, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's not about having a flawless week every week. It's about consistent small steps forward, using that reflection and review process weekly to ask, am I aligned with my purpose? What tiny adjustment can I make next week to better focus on those high-value tasks?
So bringing it all together, the mindset shift, the 80-20 focus, the habits, protecting attention, what's the core message?
I think the core takeaway is that working smarter isn't about doing more. It's about doing what truly matters, doing it with clarity, with consistency, and with real intention. Redefining success away from just being busy towards actual impact, meaning, and yeah, even balance.
And for everyone listening, the journey really does start right now. It doesn't require some massive, overwhelming change. Just small, deliberate actions based on what we've talked about, turning this knowledge into immediate practical steps. So let's end with a specific action for you today, a final provocative thought. Take a few minutes right now, seriously, grab a pen or open a note and design your personal work smarter manifesto. Just a concise statement. What are your core values? What's your vision? Maybe list 3 guiding principles you'll use to make decisions and the key daily habits you'll commit to. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. This helps crystallize your purpose, keeps you aligned, and ensures the effort you put in is meaningful and crucially sustainable. Start leading your life, not just reacting to it, starting today.